Yes, so I'm Nicholas from AEG. I'm the Director of Projects for the company, which means I oversee everything from the point we've bought the game to when it goes onto a boat. That includes development, pre-production, production, and then logistics and sales take over with marketing to make sure that the game arrives on time and then into the retail channel. So I'm essentially project management basically for all the games that we do at AEG. So we are bringing the games that we had at Gen Con, Point Salad, Walking in Burano, which is a game that was made by a Taiwanese company that we bought, and Curios. So if you've been following the news, you know those games from Gen Con. So I will not go over them specifically. We also have War Chest Nobility, the first expansion for War Chest, abstract strategy over 8.0 on BGG. I think it's ranked number 7 on BGG, abstract all time. So we are continuing the packaging for this game. So the first game looked like a box, this one looks like a small book. And this essentially introduces new units. Let me open it for you. So same base packaging with new units. You can actually take this tray and take it out, put those units into your base box, or you can just take the tray and put it into your base box directly. And then new cards called decrees that basically can be purchased to get cool additional effects. We have also heard the feedback from our customers and decided to turn the control markers into hexagons instead of circles to make sure that they would stand out better onto the board. So you still have the wolf faction or the raven faction, and those are seals that basically are limiting the amount of times that the decrees can be used. You can place a seal when you use a decree, and then you cannot use it anymore for your faction. So it's adding new units, new abilities to the game, new elements to increase the already high replayability level of War Chest as a game.
This is also released in Gen Con?
No, this released just now. Okay. The other game, and this is $30. The other game, which released just now for Gen Con, for Essen, sorry, and is also the first game we are releasing ourselves into German. So there's a German version available at the show. It's called Eco's First Continent from John V. Clare, who designed Edge of Darkness, Mystic Vale, space-based custom heroes for us. This is a game about creating an ecosystem, which is why the name is called Ecos. And the interesting part of it is that you're doing so simultaneously. So it's a lot of components in this game. So you have tiles for terrain, right? So you have deserts, you have grassland, and you have water. Yeah. Then you have animals. Okay. We have actually some build yourself trays for the animal tokens to stay on the table. And then you have stones with elements that you will be drawing over the course of the game to determine what's happening. and then extra terrain elements like mountains or trees that you can place. So the game is really simple. Every player will start with some cards in hand. You have two styles. You have level 1 and level 2, two different colors, right? And each card essentially has some requirements and then what they do, right? What's happening is that so like I said, it's simultaneous, right? So all those stones are into a big bag. And then a player who is the first player, they are called the harbinger into the game, right? So what's happening is, let's say you have this card and I have this card. I take a card and I show grass. Then if I have a card that has grass, so let's take a card that has grass.
There's a symbol of grass, right?
Yeah, the grass here, right? I can take one of my power cubes and place it onto the grass. When all the symbols have been filled, I can say ecos, take all of them out, and then resolve the ability. Each card has a number of leaves indicated, so this one has 4, this one has 2, for instance, right? And when I use it and I've said ecos, I turn it to show me how many more I have. So this card can be only used twice. This one can be used 4 times, for instance.
Do we need to fulfill these first to use these?
Yes. So we continue drawing basically and placing things. If you cannot place things, you have this little thing in front of you, which one is telling you how many of each stone is in the bag, and then allows you, when you don't want to place a resource, or when you can't, to actually rotate and then start gaining abilities, right? When you decide to gain one ability, you essentially go back to start because this is what it says, right?
If you cannot do anything.
So if you cannot, or you choose not to, you can draw this and be like, this is not interesting to me right now, so I won't do it. So we each have a certain amount of cards in our hand. We're trying to play them. We start with a certain amount of power cubes. We're trying to get more to power and create an engine that allows us essentially to make the habitat bigger and bigger, because we start with a certain amount of tiles, and then some cards allow you to drop tiles, right?
Yes.
Some cards allow you to drop a tree into terrain, and the tree can actually only be placed in deserts, right? And then you gain this and you create your engine and you score victory points, and at the end of the game, whoever has the most victory points wins the game. So this game was already with an ecosystem theme, yes. We actually have the advantage in our staff to have a former ranger in Scotland. So we actually took, we took specific care in making sure that all the animals behave like the animals behave in nature. So like gazelles need to be together and then they travel. The gorilla likes to be alone. Same with the rhinoceros. They like to be alone, so they score more points when they're alone. The cheetah can only be there if there's a tree, for instance. So we've really taken a good, a very important, very detailed into how the animals behave in nature and trying to cater that into the game.